The Rothman Institute, the official team doctor and exclusive orthopedic services provider of St. Joseph's Athletics, presents Take 5 on Hawks All Access.
The leaves are changing, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and the weather is getting a little bit cooler, which means our men's basketball team is off to the Virgin Islands for the Paradise Jam. Before they leave for St. Thomas, we figured we'd sit down with the most famous member of the squad. Our guest today is none other than the Hawk himself, senior Timmy Parks. Timmy, thanks for flying in today.
Thank you, Nikki.
First question is a pretty obvious one. What first made you decide to be the Hawk?
Well, I grew up, I was always a St. Joe's fan, and actually my dream was to be on Take 5. And I was never that good at sports, so I figured I needed another outlet to do it. But in all seriousness, like I said, I'm born a St. Joe's fan. My dad went here and just came up going to the games, and just something I always was interested in. Always loved seeing the Hawk at all the basketball games I used to go to in Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse, the Palestra, and I guess now Hagan Arena.
There you go, and we're happy to have you on Take 5. Thanks for being here today.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
So you're a big sports fan. Support the Hawks, obviously, the Eagles, the Orioles. You're the Hawk. So my question for you is, what's with this obsession with birds here? Do you have bird paraphernalia all over your house, or what's this about?
I've actually, me and my dad have noticed that all the teams we root for are bird teams, and it's kind of weird how it worked out like that. But I don't know if it's a bird obsession. I think it's just kind of worked out like that we support those teams. I mean, my dad grew up an Orioles and a Colts fan. Eventually, when the Colts moved away, became an Eagles fan. So that's kind of how I grew up. I mean, the Hawks. I think the Hawks have always been the number one bird, though.
Run us through your pregame routine.
Okay, so on a typical game day, especially game day at home, which is more, I guess, typical than on the road because kind of make your own schedule. So me and the other managers usually get here probably about 2 hours before the game. We kind of get pretty much everything set from the locker room to the water, just stuff like that, get everything set, and then the players kind of get dressed and they get on the court probably about a little bit over an hour before the game, and we're just kind of there to rebound and stuff. But I guess I get into Hawk mode. Probably I go into the locker room about 25 minutes left on the pregame clock. Go in, put my compression shorts and shorts on, put the pants of the costume on, stretch it out, and then get ready. And once the team comes back into the locker room, just kind of sitting there holding the Hawk head and getting ready to go. And once we leave the locker room, it's all flapping until we get back in the locker room after the game.
And you flap the entire time, obviously.
Of course.
More interested in any particular pregame meals for you as part of your routine?
I would say definitely meal-wise. I like to eat something filling, but not where it's going to upset my stomach. So usually at home, I try to make myself some chicken nuggets,
Yeah.
Sometimes with the dino variety.
A lot of eyes on you during these games. How do you handle that type of pressure?
I mean, it's a lot different of a pressure than, if you're Fresh Kimbrell or Shavar Newkirk, who have to go out there game in and game out and score points, get rebounds and stuff like that. I'm just standing in the corner. I'm just moving my arms. I mean, it's all on me. I mean, they're kind of in the limelight and they have to do them. I'm just kind of doing myself.
You do run the figure eight.
Okay.
And there was an instance last year where we were playing an arch rival from right up the road. And you took a little bit of a spill in front of the visitors' bench.
That's very true.
So why don't you run us through that moment? Did the big time get to you a little bit there?
I wouldn't say the big time got to me. I mean, definitely going into the season last year, first season being the Hawk, that was one of my fears. I didn't want to fall, but we were playing Nova. For some reason, I guess they were anticipating the fact that everybody was going to be there, so they just cranked the heat up in the building way too high. And it was about 100 degrees. The floor was just sopping wet. I mean, players were diving on the floor. I mean, the floor was getting wet. And I think it was either the first or second media timeout. I mean, we were playing well, amped up, get out there. I was running as hard as I can and just kind of hit a wet spot as I was making a turn. Slipped down, kind of down to one knee a little bit, and then just tried to pop right back up. Luckily, I mean, I thought I was embarrassed during the game. I'm oh, crap, everybody saw this, but not very many people saw it. I was surprised. I was asking people about it after the game, and nobody really.
You made a great recovery.
Yeah,
you popped
exactly.
right back up, so there you go.
Wasn't on TV, which is good. I mean, the game was on TV, but that part wasn't on TV, which is nice.
Saved you. You've made your mark as one of the most memorable mascots among all of sports. So if we're talking about mascots here, for you personally, Swoop or the Oriole bird? Who you got?
I think that's a tough one. I actually, doing like Hawk events, I actually met the guy who is Swoop. So I met him at the Philadelphia, we were at Villanova for the Philadelphia Freedoms tennis team. So I actually have Swoop's phone number. But I also like the Oriole bird. I mean, he's good. I don't know if I really choose one. I would say if I had to choose like a professional mascot, I mean, while I'm not a Phillies fan, I think the Philly Fanatic is just the ultimate mascot of mascots, I guess.
Yeah.
Besides the Hawk. He's professional. Hawk's college, I think. It's pretty well set in stone.
Timmy, thanks for being here today, and have a safe flight to St. Thomas.
Thank you, Nikki. Very excited.
And I presume that you're going to be flying in the plane as opposed to alongside of it for this trip.
Yeah, I'll be in the plane. I mean, we won't, I guess the Hawk won't take flight until Friday at 12:30 when the Hawks take on Loyola Chicago. Hoping to get a couple wins down in St. Thomas and continue this great start we've had so far.
Timmy, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Nikki.
The Hawks will play 3 games in the Paradise Jam. The first one will be Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time against Loyola Chicago. Then they'll return home to Hagan Arena on November 30th for a matchup against Temple. Thanks for watching, and from all of us on Hawk Hill, we wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. For Hawks All Access, I'm Nikki Philpott, and we'll see you next time on Take 5.